To the east, Aaron is stirring the Atlantic and sending swells against Florida's shores while steering winds that shape afternoon convection. To the west, a summer ridge spreads its hot influence over Alabama and Mississippi, tamping down storms but amplifying the heat. Between them lies Florida and Georgia, where the sea breezes, the Appalachian slopes, and the afternoon sun all combine to create local bursts of weather that defy the larger scale suppression. For pilots, the practical lessons today are clear. Expect afternoon convection over much of Florida, the coastal panhandle, and the Georgia mountains. Anticipate turbulence in the hot Alabama air mass. Watch for coastal hazards near the Atlantic side of Florida, where Aaron's swells are strongest. And for students, note how the interplay of large-scale features like a hurricane offshore and a ridge overhead filters down to affect local-scale circulations like sea breezes, wedge fronts, and upslope flow. That is today's weather story. A balance of tropical influence offshore, stubborn summer ridging inland, and geography's hand in shaping the fine details of where storms will or won't form. Florida. The main character in today's weather play is Hurricane Aaron, spinning well offshore to the east of the peninsula. Aaron is not directly threatening Florida, but its broad circulation sets the rhythm for much of today's pattern. Along the east coast, the storm is sending in long-period swells that translate into high surf and a dangerous rip current risk. Miami northward through Melbourne is under the influence of those breakers, with seas in the 5 to 8 foot range. For aviation, this doesn't show up in the skies so much as in the environment you fly over. Be mindful of coastal operations with rescue or training flights. Aloft, Aaron circulation helps steer northwesterly winds into South Florida. This interacts with the peninsula's powerful sea breeze machine. Expect scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, driven by the clash of Atlantic and Gulf breezes colliding over the interior. Tampa's side of the peninsula, while influenced by some drying air and weak subsidence aloft, still carries enough moisture, about 2 inches of precipitable water, for widespread convection once the surface heating takes hold. In the Keys, the story shifts. Here, winds bend in from the northeast, drawing in sticky air off the Florida mainland. This fuels scattered storms, but a layer of drier mid-level air may blunt their vertical growth. Think of these as efficient rainmakers. Heavy bursts, lightning, then quick decay. Heat remains oppressive with temperatures in the mid-80s, but dew points in the upper 70s. Pilots operating here will need to consider density altitude and the potential for outflow boundaries to surprise with sudden gust fronts. Further north, across the Panhandle and Tallahassee region, a northeast flow in the lower and mid-levels acts like a wall, pressing the sea breeze tightly to the coast. That keeps most convection pinned near the shoreline. With moisture levels near tropical values, thunderstorms near Apalachicola and Panama City will be capable of producing torrential downpours, but the inland interior stays quieter under that locked-in flow. Georgia. Moving north into Georgia, Aaron's direct influence fades. Instead, a surface high-pressure system centered over southeast Canada pushes a weak wedge of cooler, moist air southeastward into the Appalachian foothills. This wedge is subtle but important. In the northeastern mountains, moist upslope flow enhances storm development. That combination of slow storm motion and orographic lift raises the risk of localized flash flooding. Temperatures under the wedge remain held down in the mid to upper 80s across the northeast, while the rest of the state, particularly central and western Georgia, heats into the low and mid-90s. For aviators, expect a patchwork of flight conditions. Quiet skies south of Atlanta, where subsidence from Aaron's western flank suppresses activity, but stormier pockets up in the Blue Ridge where the terrain squeezes the atmosphere.